we've been busy with the project with the real estate committee. We've been busy with getting ready to send out the annual meeting notice. This year, we're gonna do it a little bit different since now we have the HOA Life. We will be, or HOA Life will be, sending out the ballot and the notice via email. And for those of you who want to go online and vote that way. They will also, if they do not have an email address, or we will be sending out also, everyone will receive via mail a ballot and the cover letter. If you want to go on and read about the candidates, you will have to go on to HOA Life to read those. Going to cut costs a little bit on sending that out. It is 4 candidates. Please be sure to vote, like Dennis said, because we still have to meet a quorum, which is, a quorum is 10% of all of the eligible voters, which means that their 2025 assessments are paid. If you do not have your assessments paid for 2025, you cannot vote. Make sure your ballots are signed. Make sure as soon as you get them in and as soon as you can make up your mind, send them in, because our mail's not that fast, as we all know, and or they might get lost. So they do have a postage paid return on the back. Maybe if you all feel like putting a stamp on an envelope and mailing it back that way, it might get to us faster.
Will there be a box in the office to drop those
There
in?
will be a box that you can drop your ballot in at the office, which saves us all postage. It's not, what is postage now, 80 cents?
74, 8,
whatever it is,
much.
almost 80 cents to mail a letter. The POA on the business reply, it's probably close now to $2 a ballot that you return via the return mail. So if you want to help save the POA a little bit of money,
vote
drop
online.
it by or put it in an envelope,
And vote
or do the online vote.
Online.
Yeah. The other thing, in addition to quorum, is it also decides who gets the 3-year terms and who gets the 1-year
Correct.
terms.
There will be, on the ballot, there's 4, like we said, 4 candidates. 2 will be for a 3-year term, 2 will be for a 1-year term. When the vote count comes in, the highest vote count, I had that pulled up, the highest vote receiver will be elected to position 4, the next is to position 5. The next highest would be to position 2, which will be a 1-year position, and the next would be for position 2, which is also a 1-year.
And I talked to our
Clear as
attorney.
mud, sorry. I have to keep a chart going, and I scanned all of that. Brenda put it on the server, so if it should ever get lost, we have a backup on that, so.
We can put that on HOA Live too, so you can see it.
Right,
I forgot what I was going to say.
sorry.
That's okay. Okay.
And this year, it was really fun remembering, because we had 4, or only 1, Dennis is the only 3-year term. Julie was
1 year.
elected to a 1-year term, and the other 3 were appointed, so I had to go back and say, okay, this person resigned, then this person was appointed, and so, anyway, that was fun.
Oh, and I did talk to our attorney. What happens
on.
if we have ties for certain spots? He said that can be worked out between us, and if it can't be worked out between us, then we'll have to flip a coin. And that's how that's handled. You have anything else, Pam? Any updates, superintendent updates?
I was not able to have a superintendent's meeting this week, and
Anything
hopefully one next week.
anything new going on that we need to know about?
We have been interviewing for the maintenance supervisor position. There have been 2 interviews. There's 3 scheduled for next week.
And I would anticipate, we're not in any great hurry to hire. Dustin seems to be doing a pretty good job getting those guys out working and doing stuff. We're not in any big hurry, so don't expect there to be a maintenance supervisor.
We would rather make a
Anytime
good
real
decision
soon.
than a hurried decision.
Right.
Make sure you let them know about the mailbox.
And I have to have shoulder surgery again on the 29th, so I'll be out for a little bit again, so. But I'll be reachable by phone to the board.
Just an FYI, they're gonna start tearing up mailboxes and moving them Monday morning.
Sorry, yes.
They worked with the postal service, and they had recommended they start on Tuesday. I said, hey, guys, everything's closed. Start on Monday, get them up, get them moved as best you can. Work on them Tuesday. We're hoping, barring any unforeseen circumstances, that the mailboxes are moved by Tuesday night. If not, it should be Wednesday. I mean, it should get done now, so that's exciting. We'll have the new mailbox shelter to use.
Is the post office gonna hold mail until the boxes are set, or are people supposed to go get their mail?
Well, the post office closed Monday,
Yeah.
Right.
so there's no mail Monday, so it
And
would
Pam,
be one day.
they'll
basically.
hold Tuesdays, correct?
That's how I assume. The postmaster
Okay.
was supposed to be typing something up that he was going to get in everyone's boxes, and I was hoping he would get it to me so that I could post it. I have not received that.
Go get your mail,
I don't get
if
my
it's
mail.
in there.
I don't get my mail.
Brenda, any office updates?
The biggest one is just the HOA Life,
You need to give her a
which.
You
microphone.
wanna,
Oh,
yeah. You
You
use
can just
Pam's.
say
Here.
Pam's.
Okay, I'll do that. HOA Life, which it went fairly smoothly. Unfortunately, we had a little hiccup with the notice of, it's a payment reminder notice that went out ahead of our actual letter to say, welcome to HOA Life. So that was a little bit of a hiccup, but so far it's running very well. Communications through there is running well, so if someone sends me an email, I can answer it quickly. It's talking with QuickBooks just like it's supposed to, so it's going well. What I look forward to is what can we add next. So elections, next year we're hoping we can do it all online, but that requires, we need an email from everyone, and we're still missing approximately 1,800 people that still have not provided a valid email address. The more that we can get all this moved online, we save money, because then we're not sending out mailings, and that's what's costing us. So next year we hope online voting for anything. I mean, we know we don't have another election, but anything that we have to poll, or if we have to do an election, we can do it online. The next thing would be water sewer. We're gonna be working on a program within HOA Life that you can actually request your water online, and it would filter to our water sewer department. So it would all be done, instead of you dropping off something at the office, we can do all this online. And then after that would be reservations, clubhouse, cabins, all that would be moved online as well. So you would be able to see a calendar on the portal to see what's available and request dates. So there's a lot this program can do. So I see in the future, the HOA portal for the members, it's gonna be so beneficial to everybody, and in the end, save us money. I know right now, I've had some responses that, this program costs money. Yes, it did. However, what we're going to save by moving things online, so we're not doing mailings, and the hours we spend in the office manually doing some of this, in the end, it saves all of us. So, I'm happy so far with what's going with that. Other than that is just projects that we're working on, trying to streamline the office so that we're not spending so much manual effort and man hours with just processes that should have been online or should have been more streamlined before. So we're working on that. That's about it. Everything's
How's
looking
payroll
good.
going?
It is done, working well. We have a couple members, or a couple staff that still have issues signing in.
It's mostly password issues. They're just, you have to enter your password correctly or you can't get in. But the time and attendance is working well. And that, again, is going to save us because we're not spending the manual hours of looking at actual written out time cards. We'll also be able to track PTO. All that request is being done online. So yes, payroll is working, going well.
Good, thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else have any questions for Pam or Brenda?
I have a question.
Yes.
I don't know, I don't know if you'll be able to answer this, but, I was amazed.
If you
at-
want to use the mic, please. Thank you.
I have a question. Do we know how many payments many, but how much we've received through HOA Life so far as payments? Do we have any idea about that?
I don't have a number of how many we've received,
Right,
but we're up around 50,000 now, dollar-wise, that we've received through HOA. So that's very promising to me. I've also, I'd say in the last week, I'm receiving at least 3 to 4 requests, either by email to the office, or just stopping in the office, hey, I need to get into the portal. And so we're updating their information, their valid email address, so more people are getting online. So again, promising, because the more we can do that, it's going to make payments quicker. One thing, I know that I've had a couple responses of why can't we get all of our properties together in one portal access? So you gotta remember, each lot is its own piece, right? If we have a sale, then if you sold your lot, then it's easy to transition that ownership if it's just one lot that you're working with. When you're trying to put multiple lots together, it creates an issue to try to divide that out again. So that's why I know for those of you that have multiple lots, it's a little bit cumbersome because you have different portal access for each lot. But it also keeps it very clean as far as, you know, what the payments are, what you owe on it. So that's why. The other thing is, I've had some people ask me, well, okay, if we make a payment through there, why does it have to be, you know, why do we have the extra fees? You have HOA fees because they're a third party. Again, you don't have to make payment through there. You can still drop off payment at the office or send it to us. The whole purpose of the HOA Life was just to make sure that every member has access to view what their account is. It is also a place where we can post comment or information
Announcements.
about the community quickly. So the portal is just meant to help the community access their account. It is not meant for you have to make payment through there. We don't want you to pay fees either. We just can't incur those fees anymore as property owners. We don't want that fee. So I just want to make that clear that you do not have to make payment through there. Payment can still be made in the office fee-free with cash or check. We just want you to have access to your property.
Thank you.
Okay, and
Just
back,
one final comment. The community should know that Rhonda and Brenda have done a wonderful job with this. Last year's board started a process. We looked at like 17 applications, picked the top 3 or 4, interviewed, talked to them, came out with a recommendation that was really complex. Rhonda went back and said, let's see the whole list, went back through all 17 or as many as she thought was relevant, found a different solution that works better with QuickBooks than what the board last year and what I had found, and stuck through it. This is the best. Nothing's perfect. We're a complex community. We learn that when we talk about insurance. We learn that when we deal with anything else that we do here. They've done a great job of getting this, and lots of thanks, lots of hours. So thank you.
Particularly Brenda, I will.
Thank you, Brenda.
I had texted our postmaster, he called, I took the call. His concern is packages. I told him that I would stress to Dustin and the crew to get the parcel boxes moved first. Yes, they will hold them, there's no mail Monday, so that gives us more time there, like Julie had said. if all of the boxes do not get moved by Tuesday or on Tuesday, the mail will be held at the post office until the boxes are moved. Parcels, they will go ahead and deliver them into the parcel boxes on Tuesday.
Okay. Okay.
Otherwise, he wanted to know if they could bring the parcels to the office like they did before, and we don't want that again.
Okay. Terry, treasurer's report.
Yep, so I gave you guys a copy of the balance sheet as of 12/31. And I don't think this is complete because I believe we need the 2024 adjustments posted in this still, right?
Yes, well, we still, I believe that is the case. Yes, I
'Cause he
believe
has-
that
he
is the
hasn't-
case.
He hasn't filed the
I
tax
can't-
return
No,
yet, right?
He has filed the tax return for
He
2024.
did, but we don't know for sure that he's
I-
went in and made
I
adjustments.
do not know for sure
Okay.
that he has
Okay.
completed those adjustments. So I would say, we're not done with
Right.
2025. I mean, we are, but we still,
Right.
like any organization, have year-end,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
accumulations and accruals that we have to work
Yeah,
through.
so once we do close the books, we'll make sure a set of closed books get uploaded online for everybody so you can see them. So the balance sheet's through 12/31, and then I gave you an income statement December and then year-to-date, for the company. And then I gave you, an income statement December and year-to-date for the different departments. I believe I have admin, water and sewer, pro shop and golf, and because we look at those together, like water and sewer and the water plant, those are combined together, so you can see they're individuals plus them combined as a total. And then, I have, when we go to work on the budget after this meeting, anybody that wants to stay, I'm gonna put it up here on the big screen. I've got comparisons on there for what was the 2025 budget. It didn't line up code-wise with what we did, so I'm able to kind of plug some totals in line by line, department by department. And, I've got the current, income statement that you have a copy of right here, so we can look at what the budget numbers are gonna be, what the actuals for 2025 were, and what the budget was for 2025. We're gonna go through each department, and we're gonna look at all of the income and expenses for each department, and how it added up to get to the summary. So anybody that wants to stick around after the meeting, that's what we're gonna be focusing on, and everybody can ask questions, everybody can give input. We wanna make sure that the whole community owns this budget, not just one person. So please feel free to stay and ask questions.
Terry, will that be recorded as well?
No, we're not gonna record that because it's just kind of conversations going through it. And then our goal is to vote on this next month at the next meeting. The budget will be voted on, so even if you come up with some questions after our meeting today, or you wanna talk about it, if you're listening and you weren't able to come, please don't hesitate to send us some emails and ask any questions you might have.
Thank you. Architectural Control Committee.
Good morning, Dennis Coffin. We had our latest meeting on Tuesday. I was not able to attend. Do you have any details from?
I
how many
believe we
permits
had
have?
7 permits that we reviewed. 3 of those we denied. They will not be getting letters at this point because I've got the city re-looking at them to give me some answers.
Reasons for those, with boundary
Yes.
discrepancies on their
Yes.
site plans?
Yes. So I did have a nice, visit with, Mayor Potter, and we discussed some of the concerns with architectural control, and we will work together on trying to find a resolution to help us and to help them. It's gonna be a fun year. I think we have a lot of the same goals for the community, and if we can all get together and work together on them, it'll be just a real advantage to everybody.
Remember what number we ended up with? I think we should have had around 265 permits for the
What the end of it
2025
was.
year. Okay.
I don't know
I
what
think
the
it was
final number
260 or 61 the previous meeting, so I figured
Yeah.
we only had 7 to look at.
Yeah.
3 or 4 probably would have been the
Right.
ending for the year.
And we did have one house that we reviewed this time. so.
Cool. Any questions?
Ron isn't here. Dan, do you have anything you wanna say?
Yeah, Ron is unable to be here today, but he did want me to let you know that we did have a meeting last week.
It's
Am I on?
yeah, you're on.
Okay.
No, it's
Doesn't look like it.
It's lit up right here.
It's not up there, the red light. Push the button.
It was on.
It was on.
It was, the display was lit up down here, so I knew it was on.
It's incognito. Anyway, he's been working with Katie on the budget, and he wanted to let people know that membership is up, and we're not making a profit, but we aren't losing as much money as we were last year, so it's kind of a linear thing, but membership's up, and a lot of that has to do with the efforts of the grounds crew and the management down there, and Pam, and we haven't made a decision on what kind of fees. They're gonna probably go up a little bit, but we haven't made a decision on that yet. And everything's gonna stay the same anyway until March, so we're gonna work on that. And they did have the course open on Christmas and on New Year's, and it was a pretty successful. Thanks to Kenny for doing that, and everything's doing good. Everybody treat it like it's your own backyard. Pick up trash that you see. Throw away your own trash and beer cans and things, and help out everybody. Take ownership of it, and it'll continue to be even better than it is now. So thank you.
Thanks. Lindsay? Oh, I'm sorry, Jay.
Yeah, no, so you said membership is up. Are we talking about rounds, or are we actually talking about like annual membership?
No rounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
On that. Is
Well,
that something that-
membership's also up, but the rounds being played is greatly increased over last year.
Sure, well, one of the things, and this is the board, and hopefully back to the committee, but the golf, not only the annual, but the amount that we charge for that is well below market. Again, the golf course, we come back, we talk about all the cost savings and things. Has been 3 years ago when I chaired the committee, we tried to raise it, we got resistance from the board, got resistance internally, and that's an area where there is revenue. We're getting a lot of revenue from outside the community right now, which I don't believe we're really tracking how much is coming in people that are not members or owners in here playing our course. But I'd really like to see some better thrust on pushing not only annual membership, because those people that are coming in, okay, if you put a little more resistance up, those people are going to either buy property, which you guys are selling property as well. That's a revenue stream. They're going to buy annual memberships. And if you compare our annual memberships to Osawatomie and places like that, it doesn't stack up. So hopefully, on the committee and stuff, we're taking a hard look at really getting these things a little bit more in line, because those are things that, we're not breaking even, we're not doing that. And again, I don't know that the net goal is break even. How do you define break even on the lake, right? How do you, again, it's to take care of the members, right, and make sure that they're getting a fair trade.
Right.
But when we let people come in, right, we're in, and we put things in place over the last few years to affect our members, and then we let non-members come in and use our assets. We should be encouraging them much harder to become members so that they can participate if they're not here with a member, right? Because I'm just looking at these numbers up here. I'm close enough to the topic to understand, but I talk to Katie when I go in and ask on like annual memberships and those types of things. they're not really increasing that much. We really should be driving for, and we set goals, right, for ourselves and lives for our community. But we really ought to be looking at an annual membership. We ought to be looking to get that over 100 as a baseline, which I still don't believe it is. Baseline, right? I mean, a club, a golf club, you know, country clubs, which we kind of are a rural country club. Those things, they've got bogeys, and we should be looking at getting that number up around 150, 200. There's enough people coming through here right now where we can get that, and then you got a defined amount coming into that course. But I'm making a point of that, because that's something, I'm not on the golf committee. When I was, I mean, again, we saw resistance on those things. The rates have not come up. I did enough analysis of the courses in the area and that type of thing, and, you know, it's, when you look at the number of rounds for break even on an annual membership, ours isn't even close,
Right.
what the members are paying. So hopefully, I mean, I hope we really make a push on that this year and spread it around. And again, you know, if I don't agree with us letting people come in from outside the community to play our course. I don't care whether it's revenue or not. I mean, that's our course. But the thing is, give them a pathway to membership. Let them in with the men's league where they're riding with a member, right?
So Jay,
Member guests, all these types of things.
you're talking about Osawatomie. So if you were to do an annual membership at Osawatomie, and I'm not a golfer and I know zilch about golf, what do you pay to be an annual member at Osawatomie? Is it
As
a
an
public
individual,
course?
And I haven't checked it in the last 60 days. As an individual, you're looking to get, on the course with a car, it's about $16.50 a year.
Okay, and we charge 700?
But that's what I can, right? If I come in and, you know, again, I quit buying memberships, because as long as we're gonna do weekend tournaments, we're gonna let outside traffic in, I'll just play when I want to, and I'll play elsewhere. But the reality of it is that ours is 700. I can get on there, I can play unlimited golf for 700 with my own card. Don't quote me, I think it's 850 if, and Dan, you may have better insight, I think it's 850 if I'm gonna use our cards, which are falling apart, right? So, on that front, I mean, I'm making this point because I think that not everyone's fully aware of this. This has been going on, it's been brought up before. We tried to address some of this 3 years ago, but I think it's something that the board, as we're driving revenue and stuff, should really be looking to the committee and saying, look, guys.
What would be, we get all that. What would be your recommendation for an annual membership? Since you've looked into all this, what do you think we should
I
charge?
don't think there's any question that, like, in a situation like mine, if I'm paying 700, you know, you're moving that to $1,000, right? So you're getting, you know, fair trade, and still, if you break that down per round, if you do 30 rounds, I mean, I'm still only paying $30 a round,
Okay.
right? And the people that are buying annual memberships are paying a lot more than that. Give some consideration to our seniors, right? The guys have been here a long time. You can find a way to work this, but the people that are still out working and stuff like that, but, you know, again, I think that's,
Okay.
I mean, I think we've gotta get a bogey on it, because it's just, it's been down for a long time, and that's an area,
Okay.
and it used to be people.
All right, we got it. We're good. Thank you.
We'll work on that.
Yeah, thank you. I
Greg?
really appreciate that input.
Right.
Hang on. Hang on. I got somebody over here.
Yeah, Greg, just a question, how much money are we losing on it?
If you look at the paperwork that I just gave you, I've got the pro shop and the golf course together. You'll see at the bottom what your win and loss is.
It's the last page of your very back of your 22 of 22.
So we could use some more.
On the back of the last page here,
Yep.
All right, thank you.
it shows for 2025 a loss of 101.
Which we were previously in the 300,000 loss range at one point.
Yeah.
So I'm not celebrating that, I'm
Yeah.
just.
Right, we're tightening the gap.
Right.
Yep.
Well, I think the trick is, of course, you're not taking into consideration raising the rates and then losing all those people coming down here, because you got to remember the gas involved for them to drive 40 miles to get down here, which would mean they probably wouldn't even come anymore. But the trick is, do you increase membership and also raise rates? Because you're gonna raise rates, then you're gonna decrease membership.
So, obviously, there's a balance in there where you can, you know,
Okay.
right. And we had,
Another, 2 more questions, go ahead.
Yeah, so I've been a resident or a property owner for 26 years. First of all, the golf course is in as good of shape or better than it has ever been. And then, those first 14 years, I was an annual member at, or actually by the last, except about the last day, annual membership at Paola. For a family, unlimited golf is $100 a month. However, the course is in way better condition. There's a full-service restaurant, a full-service bar. So you gotta compare apples to
Right.
apples.
Right.
So be really careful because we don't have any services really other
Right.
than beer and candy bars. And I know that's not on the table to add, but when you go into that price shopping war,
Yeah,
be really careful because you will
Yeah.
attract people.
I had that in the back of my mind.
you
It's
raise
like,
it
yeah,
to-
but we don't have a restaurant or anything to feed people.
And I am an annual member. If you raise it to $1,000, I'll just pay by the, I'll pay by the.
Pay by the,
It-
like
and
Jay
I
was
don't
saying,
believe
pay
that
as you
even
play.
though membership is a convenience thing, so.
Yeah.
Just, and I believe you can raise it, and if you're not a property owner, I think it should be a lot higher.
Yeah,
But,
for non-property.
I-
Non-property owners can't be members though, can they? They
No.
can't buy annual
no,
memberships.
but I agree with what you said. It's like, there's a lot of times, you get an annual member because of the convenience, not because ultimately you're saving money because of how many rounds you played. It's more of a convenience for a lot of people.
You do the rounds per month, and you don't pay that many rounds in the winter.
Yeah.
There's tournaments and vacations, just,
All right, one more.
Yeah. Jay said, it's kind of a catch-22, you hear it frequently out here. I don't support the golf course, but I think those less than 100 people that are members should be punished for trying to support the golf course with higher rates. There's a swimming pool out here we're spending a ton of money on, nobody pays a penny. People come from all over to use that swimming pool.
We're working on
But to
that.
say, I'm not gonna support the golf
Yeah.
course because I don't like the way it's run, but those that do, I think should have to pay more. We have no other amenities that anybody pays to use. But yet,
But we don't
I think
really
that's-
have any amenities that cost the maintenance like the golf course does either.
Well, the pool does.
the
It
pool does.
doesn't cost that much maintenance a
You pay
day.
maintenance on every building in the place.
Well,
I know it's not as much,
yeah.
but it still is an
Mowing.
amenity. And to hear
mow the
this
mini course, we
constant,
mow the
I'm not gonna
disc
support it, but I think those few that do should have to pay more. Just because I don't use the pool, but I still pay for the maintenance. I mean, that's something I think y'all should remember, that it is an amenity, and I think our golf committee has worked hard trying to make it a better used amenity. But it's just like, I don't use that, so therefore we shouldn't have it. And that's a very common theme.
Yeah, I hear that a lot as well.
Definitely not saying that.
Well,
I
you
would-
just said you don't support the golf course.
I don't have an
I
annual
don't play
membership
there, I go
anymore
play
because
somewhere
of
else.
because of the weekend tournament, but
Okay,
I do
Okay,
support.
thank
Can we
you.
move on?
I appreciate
Rhonda?
it.
Rhonda.
The only thing I'd like to add is, as Dan mentioned, it's hard, when you say $100,000 loss. If we did not have a golf course, how many people would leave the community? And I'm just saying, there are people that are here solely because of the golf course. And so I'm just saying, it's really hard
That aren't
to-
annual members
to
that just come and
pinpoint
play around.
all of that. So you can't just rely on that number at
Yeah.
the bottom. You have to think about those things too.
Right. All right, Lindsay?
This is rec committee.
Thank you.
So first off, I just want to say thank you for everyone who stepped up this year and helped me from New Year's to New Year's was a success. They're already planning next year's party. We're thinking how to make it bigger and better. So thank you to Dennis and Rhonda for bringing breakfast that morning. That was a hit. That was the only ways I get my husband there. So just a couple of things. 2026 is going to be filled with some more events we're going to bring back. My goal is to do almost one event a month. So stay tuned. We've got that in the works. The next one coming up, we're talking about doing a dine-in movie in February up here at the clubhouse. So, And then, so keep an eye on Facebook. I'm always looking for volunteers who want to be up there to help. And then another thing is if you have ideas for fun events and you want to host it, a karaoke night, a line dancing night, whatever that event is, present it to me. I will work with you, but I'm not going to add more to my plate. So it will be your responsibility to clean up, find the volunteers, get the idea. I will help you get the supplies. I will help you set up, but it is going to be solely your responsibility. I cannot add more to my plate than I already have. So, yeah, that's about it.
Perfect, thank you for
Yeah.
everything you do.
Thank you.
Hey, do we need to change your budget? Is your budget good still? Are you gonna stay?
Am I what?
Are you gonna stay for the budget meeting?
Maybe. We'll see. how
Okay, at
soon
least
we
talk
can.
to me before you leave.
Okay.
Okay.
Finance, Rhonda.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, I want to thank Terry for these really nice-looking reports. This is so much more legible and nice to look at, so thank you, Terry, for your work on that. I also want to acknowledge Doug for his work in the real estate committee, for his work on the demand letters. That was a big, we're not finished yet because we still have liens to go, but that was a big project, and I know we had a team of people working. I know Doug, Pam, Dennis helped with looking up some of the legal descriptions, and Becky, and so just everybody that helped with that. It's helping to solve a problem that has been existing for a number of years, and hopefully as the year continues on, we'll be able to see the fruits of that labor. So thank you very much for all that. Just a report, even though I said we haven't closed out December, all accounts have been reconciled, our bank accounts are reconciled, so I can safely say that we have acknowledged all of the accounting costs and deposits. HOA Life, again, I can't thank Brenda enough for her time. I know she's put in many, many hours working through that on a very short time frame. So it's a very large scope project, and I hope that if you haven't had a chance to go on, you do that. We probably have a link on our website, but if you go to just type in your browser HOA Life sign in, you can get right there, and they'll ask you for your address, and you will be able to see the balance on your account, and communications that are important to you as a member of the community. So I encourage you to do that. I also encourage you to do that because it does mean savings to us. So hopefully when we look at our budget, we're saying, hey, we don't need as much postage this year. We don't need as much printing this year. We don't need as much paper. You can't imagine what it feels like to mail out 5,000 things. And so just being able to cut that virtually in half or maybe a little bit more saved our community a lot of money. So I really, I'm really encouraged to see what that's going to do. And then just a reminder that while I am going to be remaining on the Finance Committee and continuing to help in whatever way I can, I would like to offer this opportunity to chair the committee to someone else in the community. I have put in a lot of hours, and I know people have said that, but that's my sickness with operations and a lot of the things that I did as a working person. So really the committee chair is not a whole lot of time, but it is something that is an important part of the community. And so I just encourage you, if you have any experience, especially if you're a CPA and have experience in that way, we are needing some expertise in that area. We have some great members on the committee, but unfortunately they're not able to step out to chair. So just want to throw that out there and hope that somebody feels compelled to come forward with that. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me or Terry about what that means, and we'd be happy to. And like I said, I'm staying on the committee, so you would get help. Thank you. Any questions? Sorry. Okay.
Thank you for all you've done
Yes,
in
thank you,
2025. We would not be anywhere near where we are today had she not stepped up for us.
Lake management, Doug.
So the health of the lakes and fish and wildlife is good. The water level is still low, but it's coming up a little bit. We've had some rain. This snow is not going to add a lot, but it will, it's coming up and doing better. I wanted to highlight and thank the ambassadors for their workday. We got an equipment closure around the paddle boat aeration equipment. We did finally got the boat ramp signage up. That's been a 2-year project, finally done, finally in place. We put up scales and rulers. We had bought too big of a scale, so we bought a smaller scale. We bought one of a too big scale. We bought smaller scales and put those up. So that's working well. So that's the good news. We've made some great progress with that. We continue to work now that it's winter on the Lynn Valley Lakes Master Plan. That's looking at how should the structures be designed for best water quality and habitat, and then what is the priority list. And again, our priority list starts with where is there soil erosion that's washing into our lakes and silting up. So that's the piece. We're going to continue to try to work with maintenance. We've got a lot of available rock in the community. Unfortunately, the city owns it, or the city's engineer owns it. And so we would like to continue to try to work on that. And while it's sitting right there, why don't we move it to where we need it instead of hauling it across the property out to the corral and then have to go get it there and bring it back. So we can continue to try to get that worked out. We are having trouble with the 10-acre compressor for the aeration system. Its pressure has been dropping over the last year. It's now not producing anything, so it was turned off. We've got an item there to look at replacing it. We're also going to find out why it failed, and if it's a different brand we need to go to or something, we'll make that change. The warranty was 3 years on the equipment, 5 years on the bubblers that are out there, and it's at 5 years in 6 months or something like that. So we just missed that. We had a beaver show up at the 5-acre spillway. And if you look at the history of that, 2 years ago, Leanne organized a wildlife specialist to come in and look at the reported beaver problem. And he looked around and he said, yeah, this is all old damage. So something's happened to the beaver. We assume that the beaver was shot. It's not legal in the city. We don't recommend that. So now that another beaver has come, I think we're seeing the pattern, because the wildlife people tell us, you can try to eradicate every beaver in Lynn County, and another one will move in like that. So we're seeing that pattern right now. The other option is that a group of volunteers went down to that property that was having trouble, and they put wire cages around the trees that they wanted to protect that are within 100 feet of the water. And if you don't want a beaver hole, you can put riprap wherever you do. If you don't want right next to your dock, put some riprap on the bank, and you won't get the beaver hole there. And they'll go find someplace else to build their little den. All they're looking for is someplace to be underwater for the winter, like that. They're not trying to dam up the main lake or the 5-acre spillway. All of those things aren't going to happen. They do eat trees, but they prefer to eat saplings than big trees. So protect your trees you want to keep. Let them eat a few saplings out somewhere else. We can coexist, and that'll be fine. If we try to eradicate it, another beaver's going to move in. So, yeah, and it's illegal.
He's been chewing on one of my trees.
Okay, protect the trees you want to protect. If you need some help with that, we've got a group of volunteers that'll help with that. Cool. I think that's, tags. We have made a recommendation to the board, and we'll see how that works out. Season starts in March, but what we're trying to do is to replace the tags on non-motorized watercraft. What we believe would happen, I'm sure nobody in the community would ever do this, but you get 3 with your boat, and then you can take the trailer one and put it on your RV. Or you get 2 with your paddle board, and you can put those on your boat, and they came free. And so I'm sure nobody would do that. And of course, the people we saw that were doing that on the lake, that must have been a mistake. But we're going to try to stop that. So we're going to give you a permanent tag for your non-powered watercraft and make it look different than the stickers that go on the other thing. So that's the recommendation, and that's kind of the why behind it.
I have a question for you. You're talking about the rock and moving it. Can you
Yes.
explain to me what you're doing? You're putting it like in runoff areas?
Okay, so there's 2 or 3 things that are kind of at the top of the priority list. The spillway that goes into Paddle Boat
Okay.
has one little rock stream, and the rest is all soil, whatever.
Okay.
And so we would like to make a little triangle path right up to the culvert that's all rock, so that doesn't wash soil right there. And then if you put a little berm in, the water will slow down, drop its soil, and then go into the lake.
So you guys are trying to manually haul that rock,
We haven't moved any rock yet.
but you would like to?
We'd like to borrow some equipment from
Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna
yeah.
say. Could you talk to Pam and get some employees to possibly volunteer to run the
Yeah,
equipment and
my
stuff?
concern is the city's gonna say that's our rock because we're gonna need it somewhere else in the project, and so
Okay,
we've
well,
gotta
we can
get this.
talk to them and
Yeah,
see.
we gotta work through that thing, but yeah,
Okay.
that's the concept, is
Okay.
while the rock's sitting right by paddle boat, why don't we
Right.
pick up the best rock, not the soil and debris, and drop it over there, and then let them fill up the hole with whatever
Okay.
they got left.
All right, thank you.
So that's the concept. Any other questions? Great, thank you.
Greg, real estate? Thanks, Doug.
Yeah, hi, Greg Ader, Real Estate Committee, and Rhonda already stole the thunder on thousands of not thousands, but lots of demand letters. Doug, thanks, and a great team for moving that along. You know, we collected about over $20,000 the last exercise, and so we're trying to make that a normal process instead of this big pulse. So if you get behind, and that's why the discussion of when when you're getting behind, just know that there's going to be a process that will you'll kick off when you don't pay your assessments. So again, we worked a lot with the finance committee, and thanks, Rhonda, and all the coordination with the new accounting system and the new approach. It's really refreshing and incredible. Thanks. The other things that we kind of have a little bit on the back burner is the quitclaim process. If you want to move out from under your lot, and as you can see from the numbers of demand letters, over 300, there are folks that are having trouble. And so we're trying to make that easier and more transparent as to how you do that. And so assemblage also, lots of demand for folks to buy a lot next to their property, and how do we encourage that, which tends to make less traffic on the roads, and is what folks seem to want. So we're trying to make that easier. We've had a little bit of a change in our committee. We are looking for new folks. If you would like to serve on the committee, please let us know. Greg Oneman, who served for several years so far, has decided to move on. So in addition to replacing him, we'll always use people who are interested. So that's all I have. Any question? And again, thanks to Doug and the great crew.
Yeah, just for the community and for the record, we prepared 367 letters representing 1,020 lots with an average due of about $3,700. Those were the demand letters.
If you do the math, that's a lot of resource that we're leaving. And every month we don't get these letters out, a bunch flies out the back that we will never be able to collect practically. So this is a big deal.
Is that something that will eventually be rolled into HOA Life on those demand letters to be sent out? Perhaps.
Doug can probably answer this better, but depending on what type of data we're trying to merge into the letter, that's what our restriction could be.
Okay.
So depending on how that letter is, if it's more vague in terms of, here's your balance, yeah, we can pull that in, but if there's additional administrative fees, it might be based on
Legally has to
percentage
be.
and not a set amount. That could prevent us, but we will, look for ways, certainly, that we could do that. At the present time, with our present process, that wasn't possible in this particular tranche, but perhaps.
You can upload the letter to the lot, though, that was mailed for backup, correct? Is
Yes.
that an
it-
option to attach that to the lot?
It would be done in QuickBooks. The attachment could be done in QuickBooks. I think that's where the appropriate place would be. If you did it in HO Life, you are correct. It automatically starts a communication, and I think that's a positive thing in QuickBooks, is that if we send out, Brenda, correct me, but if we send out an email communication to to someone in the community, it starts a conversation. So now we can go back and see, oh, they responded this way, we responded that way. So I think that's a really great way for us to capture any historical types of communication with our members. yeah, I think that will be a good way, and there's something else I was gonna mention, but I.
Yeah,
forgot.
I think the best answer to that is that you can easily add a tag to the property that says the 2026 final demand letter was went, and we provided PDFs of all of the tranches of letters, so it would reference that. The PDF would be stored. You'd have to dig through it to see which letter that was.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. And there's data sheets, so, you know, you don't really have to have a letter necessarily, but understand what the content is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, the repairs and deferred maintenance, I'm gonna let you guys read that on your own. Some of it's changed, I've added some numbers to it, just, thoughts for this upcoming year, and, when you're leaving, or if you can see it when you look out, the tile's been put up around the pool, so we will be just waiting for them to come plaster in the spring. So they did get the tile put up. Upcoming payments that we've got, sewer truck loans coming up in April for $28,265. The swimming pool, $119,724. The chlorine feeder I ordered yesterday, that actually came to, I believe, $21,771. Met with the city, of course, there was ongoing discussion regarding the water. I don't know that I learned anything new, and if you had an opportunity to watch the workshop they had the other night, they had a lot more information than obviously I had a month ago, so, we are scheduled to meet this upcoming Monday. We have our Edward Jones, that's actually not a CD, it's a mutual fund paying 3.54%. It's got a balance of $305,811.36. Since we're starting off the new year, my recommendation to the board would be that we consider taking 50% of the money and putting it in a 3-month CD and 50% of the money and putting it in a 6-month CD.
Why
And
is
the
it
rates
6
are
months-
there.
Why is it 6 months less than?
Because what they're anticipating is interest rates aren't gonna be paying as, the economy may not be as good 6 months from now as it is now.
Would we have access to that money if we had to take it out ahead of the term,
And
or is
ahead
it
of the
locked?
3 months, it is more or less locked. You can take that CD and you can try to sell it on the open market, and then it would become a bidding process. We could actually get more for it. It's gonna depend what the rates are doing. If the rates are down and we're offering it for sale at 3.65, and let's say the best rate you can get on a 3-month CD is 3.5 or 3.25. If that rate goes down on current offerings, somebody's gonna buy our CD and may pay a premium at it. If the rates go up, and I could buy a 3-month CD for 4%, then the 3.65 or 3.65 isn't as attractive to try to sell it because it's not paying as good of a rate
I'm concerned about cash flow personally,
in the next 3 months. Okay.
possibly.
I would think within the next 3 months, the cash flow, I mean, at least it appears to me that at the beginning of the year, we always have an abundance of cash. It's the end of the year when we're short on cash. Because we will have all the dues, not all, but.
How much have we collected in dues so far in January? Did you say 50,000?
That's just through HOA Live.
Just through HOA Live?
We could run a quick cash
Yeah.
thing and tell you. Keep in mind, we are a little behind the 8 ball, although I will say we had community members coming in to pay before they had received, I mean, everybody knows how much it is. So we did have a lot of prepayment before bills went out. But we can certainly get the board that number and
Well-
see where we are. I think in another week, all the mail, hard mail is gonna hit. So I would anticipate February 1 would give us a really good.
Okay.
I guess the question, do we have information on how much we had received last year by the end of January?
Yes.
Which would give us probably a good indication of what we would have this year by the end of
I mean,
January.
I think that's a plausible.
The other thing that we could
projection.
do is we could just invest half of it into a 3-month CD and leave the other half and reconsider
Okay.
the other half at the next meeting
Okay.
as to what we want to do.
I could
and that would
agree
give
with
us
that.
a a better,
Yeah, I'm fine
I
with
could
that.
go with that. Wayne, Dan,
Yep.
you guys on board?
I'm
All right,
fine.
we need to actually vote on it? All right, I make a motion that we take half of that and put into the 3-month CD and leave the other half where it is.
I'll
Okay.
second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Farmland lease?
You had talked to him, did he indicated he wanted to continue the
In
lease?
the email he did, and I forwarded that to Julie and you.
Oh, okay, I guess I did not see it forwarded, so we will stay in contact and we'll probably renew the lease similar to what it was in the past.
I will send that again.
Okay,
It has his phone number on there.
okay, okay.
Perfect.
So can you explain the original lease holder wants to renew? Because in the last few meetings, we've said
We had,
no.
right, the original leaseholder got ahold of Pam and said, yes, he did want to continue to lease it. There might be a small adjustment in the price, but probably not a tremendous amount of difference from the last lease.
Water sewer rates. Who would like to discuss this? Pam?
Oh, go ahead.
Dennis? Go ahead.
Well, we didn't fill her in on what we discussed.
Well, I don't know that we're ready to make a decision this month, are we?
We're
Or are
looking
we?
at,
Turn your mic on, please. Dustin's here too. We need Dustin to help explain anything.
we are looking at an increase for the water and sewer. Right now, the city is charging us $20.07 a 1,000 gallons to offload the sewer trucks into the lagoons. When the new water fill station, is brought up and operating, we will be charged $15 a 1,000 gallons for the water. So, right now, by my calculations, we're losing money on sewer, 1,000 gallons. And we're getting pretty close to that on the water. I think Rhonda's been working on numbers as well for that.
Here. Dustin and I have been working through some numbers on this, and I'm not really prepared to say this is it. But if you just look at the fact that a member that wishes to purchase 1,000 gallons at water fill station number 1, it's $12.50 is that rate. So 1,000 gallons, I'm sorry, I don't know what I said. 1,000 gallons is $12.50. If we were to suppose, and this is where Dustin and I are trying to figure that out, that is a break-even number, and I'm not telling you it is, I do not know. The water plant continues to be, a questionable source of what the maintenance is gonna cost, and obviously, we're trying to get by with maintaining that until the city water, is turned on and that water plant is decommissioned. We don't know today exactly what that time frame is, and I think what I'm making a recommendation to the board for is to say, let's talk about where we are right now. So if we know we're paying $20 to go, dump, we know that that's probably not covering our cost, to go pick up the sewer waste and drive it over there and come back and pay the labor. Labor costs have gone up. I'm sure you all know what's happened in the world, but labor costs have gone up, and maintenance on the trucks
is huge.
If-
is a big deal, and our trucks aren't getting
Fuel,
newer.
oil.
Yeah, if you guys look at the report that I put in here for water, sewer, and water plant combined, for 2025, we're at a loss of $52,000.
Right, so my recommendation is going to say, let's look at the fact that we know that it costs more for sewer than water, just because we already have that cost differential of $20 to go down versus perhaps the $12.50 being what our cost is to produce it here. I'm not even considering the 15, because that hasn't happened yet. So if we just look at that, I think that it would be in order for us to look at increasing the cost of sewer dump fees to our members, just so we can cover our costs. And I was going to ask when we last increased our rate on water. I know it was probably 2024 or 2023.
Well, it would have been water and sewer. It's same time.
Right, I wanna
Right,
say
so
it was 23.
Currently, both are 35, and so it doesn't really make a lot of sense that both are the same cost, and we know our costs are going to be different, just before we even add on any of our overhead. So, my recommendation is we have to solve for what we are at today, and then understand that if the water fill station is decommissioned and we have to go to, we don't know all these things, but if we have to drive all the way over to the tower, there's lots of considerations there. That's more mileage on our trucks, that's less time, you know, all those things in consideration that we will have to work through when we know what those elements are. But I think that it is in order that we do consider at least a, you know, some sort of increase on water. I'm not saying to the extent that sewer would be, but just looking at those numbers, we've done about 5,200 trips of 1,000. Basically, they're about even on both. So I was just looking at numbers, you know, I don't know if you want to hear that, but
No,
if we
it's
did, you know, if we did a $5 increase on water, for instance, and we're doing 5,200, that's about a $26,000 increase to the budget if we had a replication of numbers. If we looked at a $10, I'm just throwing that out there, $10, that's, you know, gonna be 5,200. So the total together combined would be around 78. We already know we have some increases from last year's expenses in regard to labor costs. And we do have new houses, so, you know, new houses are requiring, you know, tank pickup and, you know, they're not on water. So, anyway, those are just my thoughts, don't throw anything at me, but I mean, we know that it's a cost that all of us, you know, it's important to everybody, it's a utility. And so I don't think we do that lightly, but I do think that we need to make sure, that we are covering this cost. And so that's what, Dustin and I know Pam has been involved too, in looking at where are we today and what do we need to do just minimally to kind of stop the bleeding, if you will.
Yeah, I've also asked Dustin and Pam to work on a policy, because when I was talking to Dustin with his budget, he mentioned that, you know, you've seen the trucks out 7, 8 o'clock at night. We're paying overtime to our drivers, but we didn't make any additional revenue on that. They didn't get charged any extra fees for calling in late or anything like that. So I've asked them to address that policy, so maybe that can help compensate for some of this loss that we have as well. We need to figure out a cutoff time, and anybody who calls in after that cutoff time has to pay the higher rate if they want it that day. We
Right.
have to make sure we're covering ourselves.
Right now, the cutoff is you're supposed to have your ticket in or your request in by 8 o'clock in the morning. If it's after 8, there's a $10 per $1,000.
$10 isn't covering it.
And it's not covering it. So that needs to be increased. Also, if it's after hours or Saturday, Sunday, or holiday, right now it's $100 for 1,000, $120 for 2,000. That's going to go up as
130,
well.
I think it's 130, actually.
130, yes, sorry. So that will be needing to go up as well.
And the numbers there, I will say, you know, everybody talks about that, there's not very many numbers from last year, maybe 25. So it's not like we're charging that 100 or
Right.
130 all over the place. And I think we only had something like under 100 same-day service charges for the $10, which to me is, that needs to be increased. I think those are the kind of things we can increase, because that is within your control as a property owner to avoid those charges by, you know, being more proactive.
Yeah,
So-
because we paid time and a half in labor for that run and the cost of the equipment, and you only paid $10.
And we have a
That's
couple-
common math.
Right, and we have a couple of property owners that's just a habitual
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Board, do you want to vote
So,
on the increase?
yes.
Would somebody make a
What my
motion?
recommendation would be that we increase the water by $5
Per
to
thousand.
$5 a thousand to 40, and increase sewer $10 to 45. The other question that I would have.
What about 2,000?
Okay,
What's
that
our
was,
rate for
okay.
2,000?
So,
What's your
so,
recommendation?
so
You didn't
my,
say that.
we give a break right now on delivering. For example, if you order 1,000 gallons of water, it's 35. If you order 2,000,
60.
60. Okay.
We save $10.
I don't know, well, it doesn't seem like there's a ton of people that order 2,000, just because most people, are there, has it been? Okay. Okay. I guess my question is, it isn't really saving us very much when we take 2,000. I mean, it's almost the same amount of time for you guys, because you've dumped the whole truck, you still have to go back and forth. So I would be inclined to say there's no break on ordering 2,000. So in other words, if you order 1,000, it's 40. If you order 2,000, it's 80. I mean, that would be my recommendation.
What are your thoughts? Dustin, what are your thoughts?
I agree with that. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I think,
we're losing money in the sewer department. The best way we can make it up is just go straight even across the board.
and I think some of the other comments were that maybe you're not always getting 2,000 out of that.
No, we're
So that creates other issues. So, you know, I only found, last year, we had a total on water of 650 times that we did 2,000 gallons out of the 5,200.
those.
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, which is fine. I'm just saying that I think that it's not affecting a large number of our transactions, is what I would say. So,
Okay.
about that.
Wayne, Dan, what are your guys' comments?
What
You've been
about
quiet.
Just go straight across the board?
I agree with what Dennis said.
So if we, Wayne?
Yep.
Okay, so if we increased water by $5 a thousand to $40 a thousand, and did away with the fee, you know, and made it the same 1,000, no discount on ordering 2,000, and then we increased sewer from 35 to 45, and also no break on doing 2,000, that would be what I would motion that we do.
Starting,
March 1.
March 1st?
It's gonna cost me $200.
You got a question?
Has somebody done the math? Is $5 enough?
Well, it probably, and
And
this
this
is
will
the
have
other,
to be
we had
reevaluated.
had some preliminary discussions about this prior to. And once we do switch over to the city, and if that is costing more, we thought we make that adjustment. We can make the adjustment anytime we need to. So we thought if, say in August, it is costing more, then we would possibly make another adjustment on the water.
Somebody's done the math, $5.
Yeah.
well, and also, when we start using the new water fill station, we are going to have to come up with some kind of a credit card or something, which there'll be a fee on top of that, so we need to take that into consideration as
Right,
well.
so
It's
once-
gonna be
once we
Now,
switch to the
I-
city, we'll,
And I,
Read, but that leads to my second question. Is there a long-term plan for the POA to exit the water and sewer?
Well, it would be
that is
nice,
a good
but,
question.
That's what the city and the county are for.
Right, as the city expands the water project, they will be having more meters, we will be having less deliveries. The goal ultimately,
we're talking about, yeah, deliver,
Talking about
sewer, water,
turning it
sewer
over to the
coming
city
in and out, or
completely.
water coming in and out of the fill station.
right, and hopefully, I mean, we're all in agreement with you. It's like
Yeah.
that should be a city service, and ultimately, we would love to see 100% of water and sewer being a city service. And so that certainly would be the goal to work towards.
But like I said, I've been having continuing talks with Mayor Potter. He's very receptive to issues that we're trying to tackle. The credit card issue being one of them, as far as our drivers getting in and out. There's, we've thrown around a couple ideas, and, if anybody has any ideas, gosh, shoot them to us. But one of them was that we do like a prepaid, City of Lynn Valley gift certificate, but, yeah, but I mean, we're working on ways to make it so that it's easy for us and it's easy for them. And so this is gonna be a continual reevaluation through the year to see what's happening with the water sewer and what it's costing us.
Well, I think a lot too is, I mean, we're trying not to do shell shock either. We're trying to regroup money and not hit everybody in the face with an overwhelming amount. Because I get it, we gotta make up money. We gotta build momentum to what we're doing as far as getting back on track financially. So just putting our foot in the door about raising stuff. I mean, everybody loves Lynn Valley life because it's a great place to live. So,
But it can't be a free place. to
yeah,
live.
it can't be a
I mean,
free place.
Money's gotta come somewhere.
Yeah, we just need to
Right.
break even.
And then we're here to subsidize things like
Exactly.
the pool, the clubhouse,
Right. So,
bathhouse,
so,
golf course.
so that's what we were leaning, trying to make that to where it gets to be a break-even situation.
Can you
Yeah.
please re-motion with the
Yeah, so-
1,000 and 2,000?
Right, so,
No, 2,000.
so I motion that the water, switches, goes up $5 from $35 to $40
For 1,000 gallons.
for 1,000 gallons, and that there's no discounted rate for ordering 2,000, and that the sewer goes up $10 from 35 to 45, and also no discounted rate, that's per thousand, and no discounted rate for 2,000,
Effective.
effective March 1st.
Anybody like to second that?
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Okay, so Dustin just said that they may be getting ready to turn the water fill station on because they were running.
Yeah, they was running water.
So they've, I guess they've filled the,
I
they,
don't know if the tower's full yet. I
Okay.
think they're just feeding off that main line.
But we would certainly still have our
Yeah.
fill
Right.
station until,
I don't know how long.
well, I mean, we certainly have to have it till they have, water to those
Yeah.
meters that were, because we can't shut down
Yeah, yeah.
Cause we're still supplying those meters, so until they have run a line to all those 134 meters and changed those out, I don't see how that would be a situation where that could change. So certainly for the foreseeable future, we will still have our existing fill station.
The next thing that we put on the agenda was the 2026 assessment policy. We discussed this in executive session and decided we are going to table this to next month. I'm gonna hold on the restaurant here for a few minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll come back to it. The dog park. We had announced this, as a 2026 volunteer project. Of course, here again, we're looking at our budget, we're looking at the amount of money that we get in on back assessments, and anything else that's coming up this year, but, we talked to our insurance, and our insurance said that to have a dog park, it would cost us $100 a year, so insurance is very minimal. However, if we did what they consider to be a minimal but dog park size of 1 acre, it would cost us about $50,000 for fencing for that dog park. So, with that being said, we are going to table this for discussion after we get a little bit, some more firm numbers and reconsider and see what we've got in our budget. It's possible that this wouldn't be something that our volunteers could do until October, November, depending upon a lot of things. So we're just gonna go ahead and table the dog park. Bathhouse number 1, as we said earlier, is going through, or we're hoping to go through a large remodel. We have some additional questions to ask Josh Chabot. He was the one that initially bid it for us. We are also going to seek out another bid if we can find somebody that is willing to do the amount of work for the price that he quoted us, because in our opinion, it's a really fair price of $18,500. We'd like to get it started working on as soon as possible. What I'd like us to do is to approve the $18,500, and then we will do additional investigating and make sure that number works, and then we'll do it if we can get everything to fall in line, but I don't wanna wait a month to vote on this, because I'd like to get that bathhouse back open.
what all is he doing for the 18.5?
Okay, he is replacing the shower heads, replacing the toilets, replacing the faucets. He is scraping all the floors, he is replacing the drains in the shower, he is retiling in the shower stalls and then he would be grinding down the concrete and putting sealer over on the top of that in both the men's and women's bathhouse at the Front Community Center. They're disgusting. I mean, to me, if people complain about 2 and 5, they're the Taj Mahal compared to that front area.
Be nice if you could throw in a couple front doors too.
I think they
Pretty
just need to be sanded
dated.
and painted.
Yeah, something.
And we'll work on that too with the exterior of the community center building, so.
Okay.
We'll-
I would motion that we approve $18,500 for renovation of Bathhouse 1.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We've had a request from maintenance to get a articulating pull behind lift. We do have a question for you, Dustin. What's the status on the bucket truck?
Bucket truck, Mark is working on the injection pump right now installing.
So we still don't know if it works.
Not yet, hopefully in a few more days when he comes in, we can figure that out, get fired up, see what happens.
Okay,
He had to rebuild that complete pump, and like he said, he doesn't know
if
if
it'll.
it's gonna work, and it's either gonna run away or it's gonna run fine, so.
We do have fund that we found at Gherkin Rental for $21,000 to rent this lift, which is very versatile. It would cost us $240 a day or $950 a week. To buy a new one would be $40,000. We're trying to determine if we want to let that go at Gherkin and see if another one comes up. We'd like to find out if the bucket truck is gonna be fixed or make it. Recommendations from the board.
Well, I mean, for me, if the bucket truck, obviously, they do somewhat different things, but there's some overlap on the bucket truck. So if we knew that the bucket truck was functional, it would certainly be able to do a portion of what this does. So I would almost be inclined to table this for the moment to see where we're at, and then, you know, if the bucket truck is not gonna work out, then maybe we come back to this or look for another one similar to get that solved.
The lift would be good for repairs on like this building, the other buildings, places we can't get that bucket.
Right. No, and I know there's some overlap, but there's obviously things that one can do the other can't. So-
And this will be sorted out too within the next 30 days with the budget.
Okay.
You know, cause that's gonna be the bottom line is can we afford this piece of equipment or not?
Get that on as a priority,
Dennis?
unless there's other things, because he's been installing that for
Months.
a few weeks now.
What's
Dennis?
the scope on the repairs for this? What's that costing us on the bucket?
On the bucket truck, I
Yeah.
can't remember what we paid for the pump and then, his time and labor, but he's been working on so many different things, it's hard to get him to just be able to focus on the bucket truck. So it's been quite a bit.
Pam, do you know how much you think we've estimated spent
do
on
not.
that?
I do not know that.
Anybody else? We are going to go ahead and table the articulating pull behind lift. 2025 turfware 460, $15,000 new. Andrew and Pam and Dustin and myself have discussed the maintenance around the front area, the entrance of Lynn Valley Lakes, campground, playground area. And this piece of equipment is a spreader. It's a weed or chemical, a piece of chemical equipment. It not only does liquid, it does granular. It allows. I think it's like a drive
Do you
behind.
wanna have Andrew kind of explain?
Oh, Andrew's here. Andrew, go for it, Andrew.
Andrew,
Here, come,
Or pass the mic back to him
Yes,
once?
thank
I
you.
thought that would be much simpler.
Yes, it would, instead of me sitting here mumbling.
Big ol' make it wide.
Yeah, so I'm Andrew Jones, for those who don't know, superintendent at the golf course, but I brought up to the board a chance that we could maybe make some improvements to the aesthetics of the entrance up here around the clubhouse. Some other areas with treatment of fertilizer, weed control, just kind of cleaning up the area to make it a little bit more presentable, since that front entrance, obviously everybody comes through it and sees it. To do that, the proper equipment is needed. I don't necessarily have that on the golf course because of the terrain that's up there at the clubhouse, or at the entrance up here at the clubhouse. Just kind of with the terrain, with the bigger equipment that I have that I spray with and fertilize with, being a tractor, it just really wouldn't be very accurate or very easy to use in those areas. So I proposed a turf wear machine. It's something that I've used in a former career as an applicator at a lawn care company. It almost looks like a stand-on mower, but you're able to spread fertilizer, spray liquid applications for weed control. And this wouldn't only just be used at the front entrance or up here. It's something I could utilize on the golf course as well. When I do spray weeds at the golf course, I've then got to go through a kind of a timely process to clean it out before I can use that machine on the greens or other areas. So it would serve two departments, really. It would serve maintenance and the golf course. So it's just something I propose that, we could help improve the aesthetics of the place, the places that people see the most, essentially.
I don't think anybody on the board has an objection to it, but I think probably waiting until the budget's finalized next month. So I think we'll probably table it till next month and then probably move forward on it at that point, is what where I would see us. Is that what, Terry?
I'm not gonna answer that because we need to look at this budget.
Well, no, that's what I said.
No.
Let's
Until,
table it.
no, we're tabling it.
Yes,
until
table it.
No, that's what I'm saying,
Absolutely table
tabling
it,
it till
yes.
next month.
I thought you were asking me to agree that we would buy it, and I'm not
I
gonna
was
do
saying,
that.
my suggestion is we table it till next month
Yes,
after
please.
we've finalized
Yeah.
the budget, and
Yeah.
then
See if
have
we
a
can
better
include it in the
understanding,
budget. Yeah.
is what I would recommend.
Yeah.
Okay, we've met back with Fitz Security, and this is another issue that we need to discuss in great length, and we are going to table that after the budget.
And the purpose of that is,
The purpose of that is we are putting fencing up around the front office. It will extend from what used to be Pam's office over to the pool, and then from the pool to the back around. So what it is gonna do is this fence is going to encompass what will be the new fitness center, the pool, the bathhouses, and the laundry. Everything will be inside that gate. Right now, once we get it up, initially, we're gonna go ahead and probably open that area up at 7 in the morning when maintenance goes in, and close it at 10 at night when the guards leave. That's how we're going to handle that initially. What Fitz would allow us to do is to, on not only the front area, but the pool, the bathhouses, the buildings, any place where we need to have some security, it would allow us to put something up where we would have a phone app and we could just tap our phone on it and it would open it up so we could get in. The reason we're feeling up front, it was most important, and probably this pool, is that was our first focus, and the reason for that is when we've got Danceopia Fest or people using camping wherever outside of the community, we've got people coming in using our laundry facilities.
Well,
We've
and the
got
showers and baths. They'll
showers,
park in
we've
the front
got-
lot
Yeah.
and literally walk through and use our showers,
So-
that are
And,
not
and it
members.
locks out the people that aren't paying.
Right.
We
It
can
also
control
lock-
the amenities to people that don't pay.
Right. Your app will be disabled if your assessments aren't paid. So.
Kind of goes back to preventative maintenance again,
Right.
to where you cut down on the wear and tear from the outside community. And we all know Danceopia.
Yeah.
Who knows how much that's probably the reason why the front bathrooms need what's going on right now. So it helps protect our investment as a community.
But as with everything else on our list, my recommendation is that we table this to next month after the budget.
Agreed.
Agree on that.
Okay.
Yes.
Until we get more information, I guess, too. So, next is ballot counting committee. We need volunteers, please, to count ballots. Pam, if you could tell them what it entails and when.
The ballot counting committee meets, the ballot counting committee meets 2 or 3 times before the annual meeting to verify and count the ballots for the board candidates. We typically give them a roster of the property owners that has the amount of assessments owed. So I would need to be getting with Brenda and Rhonda about getting that printed.
This would be through 2025, so
Yes.
you would have that information.
Yes.
Okay.
The counting committee does exactly what it says. They count the ballots. And then at the day of the annual meeting, then the ones that are picked up at the meeting, one of the committee members comes up here and picks them up at the clubhouse. They take them back to the front office to do a final count.
Need to be available on the.
The day of the annual meeting and 2 to 3 times before that date.
If they work during the day, is there a way that it
There,
could be done
we
at
would
night?
make it work where they could do an evening.
All right. One thing I do want to say is before you do volunteer for the committee, please make sure you remember that your 2025 assessments are paid in full. You cannot be on a committee if you owe assessments. So, with that being said, is there anyone that would be willing to volunteer to help count? We need 3 people. And I can't do it, because I've done it before, but I can't do it because I'm running.
For those of you listening, please reach out to Pam.
Yes.
Yes, because the board would need to approve the committee at the next board meeting, which really doesn't give us a lot of time for the committee to get organized and that type, so.
Unless there was 3 hands right now, and then we could approve you right now.
Yes.
Yeah, what are the dates?
The annual meeting is February 28th, so it would be the week before then.
You're volunteering?
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
there's
thank you.
1. 2 more?
Oh, I bet Kim wants to volunteer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jay, what about you?
All right, we will go ahead and put your names down. We'll do all the approvals, I think.
Who did we get?
Sorry.
We have 1
I have
so far.
Vester Gillette, I have him.
Okay,
That's all we have so far.
that's all we have. Kim's looking to see if she can do it. She's gonna be out. Pardon me?
The meeting is the 28th of February, but
So
you
it'd be
would have
like-
to meet a couple of times before that to start working through who's eligible for voting and not.
I'm just out the 10th through the 16th.
Oh,
So would you?
So would
want
you be
to-
willing to serve?
oh, perfect.
Okay,
Thank
thanks,
you, Kim.
Kimberly.
I bet Mike could do it.
Jay?
I have a quick question. You said that the nominating committee, is it just the 4 of you that are going back on, or I?
That
didn't-
is correct.
That is
Okay,
correct.
I didn't see it posted anywhere, but I didn't hear you guys announce.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
So it's the
earlier,
4 people.
Right,
so it's
earlier
technically the
I
same board
announced
if we
that
can get a quorum.
right, earlier when, I said that the nominating committee had met with the 4 candidates and approved, the 4 candidates for the election.
I just hadn't seen it posted, that's why I was asking.
Because it hasn't been.
Got it.
Okay, 2026 stickers, I think we're gonna go ahead and discuss that, further and make a decision on what's gonna work best with Pam and
We'll
with,
table it for next
yeah,
month.
we'll go ahead and table that. 10-acre lake aerators, $10,000. Doug, how certain is that number? Do you wanna do some shopping? Do you
I have
wanna-
the contract from 2020. That unit that we bought was 2 3/4 horse compressors, 115 volt, and the price then was 8820. So 10K is not a quote, it's just a budgetary number right now.
So, the question, you said that was a 115 volt compressor, and I noticed Paddle Boat has 220 volt compressors.
That was the recommendation from Arn, our lake management guy.
Okay, is there, and we probably don't have 220 at the.
We've got a
10.
panel, yeah, we should have a 100 amp panel, yeah.
Okay, so if we went to a 220, is there some advantage?
Yes, it produces more stroke pressure or power
So-
with the higher voltage. So, yeah, I think we would put in a 220 system. We were talking with Arn over the course of this year that since we were so marginal on air pressure, Dustin's gone out and worked on it several times, we need 12 pounds of pressure to counteract the weight of the water at the deepest part. And a year ago, we were at 15. When he tuned it this year, we were at 14. And now we're below 12, so it's not working. So it's been turned off, right? It's been turned off. So we were talking to Arn about putting in a 220 system at 10 acre and then having these two 110 compressors for some other smaller body of water and not buying a third unit in the future. If it's going to fail, who knows? We're going to talk with the manufacturer and find out why is this a 5-year thing and where are we going to be replacing everything in 5 years?
Well, or and possibly the manufacturer said, hey, it's somewhat rebuildable. I mean,
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So we have to look at that. I'd be happy with putting a number in the budget and not making a decision to replace it. Running them over the winter is not that helpful. So if we
And
start this up by March, it'll be great.
And that's why I'm asking
Yeah.
is because what we can do is table this to the next meeting, get additional information.
Absolutely.
Let's put a number into the budget.
Get
so
you a
it's
quote, yeah.
approved in
Yeah.
February.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'll work.
I am currently waiting because I was really hoping the people I'm looking for would be here by now. But they are not, so therefore I will make the announcement. Our goal is to have a restaurant opening February 1st.
Whoa.
Not under the POA.
POA will not have.
We
I
will
mean,
just be leasing the
We'll be
space.
leasing the space, and they will be running the restaurant. Their name, they do not live here. Their names are Micah and Ebony Hayes. They currently have a food truck that's called Hayes Smokehouse, I believe. They're from Raintree. They are looking for property to buy here. Shelley had an opportunity to meet them and spend some time with them. They obviously smokehouse. They're going to do some barbecue. I think they plan on having some specials. Relatively small menu. I don't know how it sounds like there's not going to be be skeleton crew, probably her and her husband, or I believe her and her brother-in-law. They're going to start slow, depending upon, what kind of interest they have. But we're excited. We are not in the restaurant business, nor do we want to be, but we want there to be a restaurant for the community. So, just like everybody else, when the last restaurant closed, we were disappointed. We're very excited. We're gonna have onion rings. Yes. That was the first thing I said to them when they walked in the door is, you cannot do anything here unless you serve onion rings. So, that's how our discussion started.
They will do a limited breakfast menu, and they had said they will determine, probably initially maybe Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then, expand or contract that as business dictates.
Well, we did give some input, like me, I said, if you guys wanted to kill it down here, bacon buffet. Do a bacon buffet, all you can eat bacon and you guys will.
So, we are very excited to be offering this to you guys at no cost to the POA. But we do recommend that if you want to keep a restaurant here, you make it profitable for them to stay into the valley. So if you could, please support them the most you can. They are about 10 minutes away, they said. So, depending on how long our conversation goes here, you may have an opportunity to go ahead and meet them. Do you have any questions about the restaurant that I might be able to answer for you?
Will they be serving liquor?
They will not be serving liquor. There'll still be beer to purchase from the pro shop and whatever else the pro shop sells, but they will not be serving liquor.
Access,
Pardon me?
access to the restaurant will there be access from outside the community so that
Yes, they will. They will have a phone app.
have a better
Yes.
opportunity?
Yes, they will have a phone app so they can, you know, if somebody wants to call in for a reservation or gets to the gate and they wanna open the gate for them or whatever, but yeah, they will have a phone and a phone app with their own number. And, like I said, hopefully they will be a member and part of our community. I do believe that the board probably needs to go ahead and vote whether to allow them to have a gate app on their phone, because they are not a member, now, yet.
I know, if Shelley would just get on the stick and get them a lot.
Yeah.
You'll see.
Well, if somebody wants to, I mean, do we need to discuss this? Do we want to give them an app with them not being members? I don't know. I mean, we could give them a code, we could
Well,
give
I
them a
was gonna
gate
say,
card, but that's
until
not
the
gonna
contracts-
help.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be middle of February before they're,
Oh, they're start opening February first.
I know, but, you know,
Till they're gonna need.
yeah, I mean, there's not gonna be that
Code.
much activity, so we could table the app until next month to sort out, make sure that we've got the contract
But we're
signed
in
and
agreement, we're
everything.
gonna let them have some kind of access
Right.
to the
What-
outside
right.
people when they call.
Right, we'll figure out how that happens, but we're all in agreement that we.
What does the community think of them having the app? Well,
Yeah,
but we
yes.
could give them a card or we could give them a code. But the app would allow them to open the gate for.
But as soon as you give them a code and then they give that code to somebody to get in, now the code's public.
Yeah, we wanna
Yeah,
give them the app so
yeah,
they
I-
can
the
get
app
access.
is much better.
Yeah, I agree.
And they are looking at buying a lot, so hopefully very soon they would be lot owners.
Yes, sir.
If they have a lease on the restaurant, that's almost the same as any other renter, so just giving the app, it's the most secure way you can.
Great way to look
Yeah.
at it.
Yes.
Yeah. Pam?
Okay.
Andrew has to leave in 10 minutes,
Okay.
if you want to go over his budget before he leaves.
Are we done?
Um,
Does anybody have
Not that I
anything
wanted
else?
to push
Yeah,
this,
no,
Right,
but-
he
no,
does
you're
have to
fine.
leave.
Okay.
Any community comments, suggestions, questions? I would like to make a motion to adjourn today's meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right,
So as you
we're
guys
gonna move
can
on.
tell, we've asked to stop this meeting.
Stand up.